JoJo has fun. Get some nice glass sheep, little lady.
Just, go Bo Peep yourself. Struggling here. I'm really struggling.
Peep yourself.
I'm really struggling with this glass menagerie stuff. I read that
I'm going to be
story.
completely honest. Glass menagerie, kind of a shallow well for comedy.
I read that story when I was in the 10th grade. You're really pulling some shit there.
Oops.
Oh, did you just hurt somebody?
Yeah, really badly.
Jesus. Destroyed.
Oh, this guy.
Told me,
yeah. He was a bad pharaoh.
Oh, why did you do that?
He was attacking me.
Oh.
Again, he was attacking me because I hit him with an axe. I was like, "Can I axe you something?" And he was like, "You can." And I was like,
That's not, right when he was like, "That's not the proper way to." Oh, I get it.
"Oh, you murdered me! Nice, good job, man. Killing it.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Killing me." So I gotta find a couple more quest business. You know what? I like this outfit. I haven't put it on in my home game, but I think I'm going to because I really like it.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's cool. The shoulder thing I did not know about is great.
Yeah, and you look like Rafi from the League.
A man named Terramoon is being held prisoner with others for the crime of protest.
Oh, that's some small text.
Yep. Bandits have taken over an important spring and are extorting farmers who need fresh water.
Oh my God. Sorry. It's not
I-
appropriate. You shouldn't extort people who need water.
Yeah, and...
Wait, hold on. We do that. It's called capitalism.
Wow.
Boom.
Kim.
Boom.
Killing it. I can't handle it.
All this
It's too much.
Boom, boom.
You're just...
Also, I noticed that my old man neighbor, stopped trying to talk to me since I put up the socialist flag outside our house.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
If I had known that it was going to... I've lived there for 4 years, and I've been hiding from that man. If I had known all it would take is a $30 flag with some bread and roses on it... God. Yeah.
Bread and roses?
Hank.
Oh.
Yeah, Hank, in 1995, Hank got run over by his own hazmat truck and he gets $19,000 a year as a settlement from the hazmat company that he worked for because he didn't put on the e-brake and he ran himself over.
Wow.
Yeah, true story. And then, so when we first moved in, so Hank walks with one of his legs dragging behind him like a sad dog. But even though he's really slow, this is how I understand that people could die from zombie attacks. Because even though he's really slow, he'll still catch you.
Oh.
Yeah, and then once he catches you, you can't get away. He will talk to you forever. And about shit that does not matter. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And when we first moved in, he came over to our house with these 2 melons, and he told me that these melons, and he was like, these melons, and the reason that he came over was to tell us that they do not accept welfare queens and drug dealers in their neighborhood. And I was like, okay.
You don't have any way to stop that.
Yeah,
even if it was happening.
Yeah, even if I was a welfare queen drug dealer, which by the way I would love to be.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
But besides, if you're a drug dealer, you would live in a much nicer area.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to live across the street from fucking Hank. Okay?
I don't know why people think drug dealers would live in terrible areas.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money.
Yeah. But anyway, so he really was coming over with these melons that were filled with just also my parents were visiting not my parents, my aunt and uncle, and they just wanted to spy and see who was at my house. And I was just like, this is great. So anyway, he comes over with these melons and then he leaves. And then an hour goes by and I realize that our garbage smells so bad. So I take the garbage out and then I come back in the house and I realize it still stinks in the house.
It's the melons?
What does that say? Yeah. Hank and his smelling melons. Just fucking, oh my God. They almost ruined our refrigerator.
Wow.
They were and they were just like cantaloupes. They weren't any special kind of stinky melon.
I know you say they're just cantaloupes. I'm sorry. Cantaloupes smell like ripening garbage.
Oh my God, they were the smelliest melons. I mean, we could smell them. You know my house.
Yeah.
They were in the refrigerator. We could smell them in the living room.
Jeez.
The entire house
That is
reeked of garbage.
Gross.
And we were just like, he just like bombed us. He bombed us with these smelling melons, and it never came up again. Like,
did he ever apologize?
No.
What a dick.
I refused to eat them. They smelled so much like garbage.
Ugh.
Like I don't eat things that smell like garbage except fish.
Yeah, I feel that same way about penis. That's awful. The smelling melons.
Smelling melons. And so now, because of my socialist flag,
never talks to you.
Hank doesn't talk to me anymore.
Good. What a weird dude.
Fucking weird ass. Fucking.
If you get run over,
right?
Yeah.
He owns a home.
And he
this
got
is
run over by
everything
his
that's
car.
wrong with America. A guy who ran himself over with his own car was able to buy a house just 20 years ago.
Wow.
And now I work a full-time job. My husband works a full-time job. We are in the negative every month.
Well, the march of progress, Kim, is endless.
God, capitalism sucks so many dicks.
I know. Well, maybe one day we'll outlive it, Kim. Or we'll just die, in which case, who cares?
Pip will care.
Pip will care. Oh, how do you feel about having unleashed Pip on this sort of
I'm going
world?
to breed such an angry, angry socialist. He is going to be the worst. Kids are going to hate him.
Yep.
They're going to be playing with their Mattel Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
And he's going to be like, do you know that the worker who made that doll would have to work for 3 years to be able to afford that doll? And they're just going to be like, wait, what?
3 years?
Yeah.
To play with a toy that doesn't even do anything?
Right, yeah, to afford a doll that they make thousands of,
Oh,
that
sucks.
Yeah. And also, unrelated, the Zara company that makes the super, super expensive clothes have not paid their workers in over 10 months.
What?
Yeah, they're essentially using slave labor to make what is like...
What is Zara?
Zara is like a super designer, like higher than Saks Fifth Avenue.
No way.
Yeah. And so they're getting hundreds of dollars for certain outfits, or like $150 for a shirt or $170 for a skirt.
And it's made by slave labor.
And it's made by literal slave labor.
Jesus.
What happened recently, a worker had sewn in to the inside of a garment.
Help me.
Yeah, essentially help us. We haven't been paid in almost a year. And so, and Zara had there was no repercussion for what they did because it was done in another country. So there's nothing we could do.
No.
Except that, you could not buy Zara. Not that we would,
Yeah,
because we're fucking poor.
We don't have enough money to afford Zara.
Yeah. You know who else can't? People who make Zara.
Yeah.
You should be able to afford the things that you create
Yeah.
just because you don't own the means of production.
Well.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Wow.
I fucking destroyed that guy.
Yeah, you like cleaved that guy in
Jeez,
half.
I know we were talking about like injustice and shit.
Yeah,
but that did not seem fair.
Yeah.
I just fucking rocked that dude.
Yeah.
Not to JO myself too hard, but
Yeah.
Jesus.
Don't break your arm jerking yourself off.
Don't break your arm jerking yourself off.
God damn it, that's the best thing to say to somebody.
Especially when they're in a good mood. Yeah. Don't break your arm jerking yourself off.
I want to say that. I want to see if I can get to a point in my job where I can say that to my boss and not get fired.
Yep. Like, wow, I did a really good job fixing that lady's eye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
don't break your arm jerking yourself off.
Yeah, like we have a patient who it's taken us like 2 years to be able to get him in for surgery.
Why? Just because it's hard to schedule him on weekends?
He's homeless and trying to get get him, and he's on a bunch of drugs, and then he won't get surgical clearance, and then he got surgical clearance, but he failed cardiac clearance, and then he had to go to Sacramento to get cardiac clearance, and you know how fucking hard it is to get a homeless guy to get to Sacramento and back. And so literally it took 2 years. Well, this guy's he had a orbital implant that had become exposed. And so it was like pushing out of his eye. And
What
so
is
by
an
the time,
orbital implant?
It's so after you remove an eye,
Uh-huh.
there's like a bunch of dead space in there.
Right.
And so you have like a little cement ball that you put in the eye and you sew skin around it.
Oh.
So that the eye stays shape, and you can put a little shell, like a prosthetic shell, over
Oh, so
the eye.
it looks like an eye, but it's not.
No, it's just like a ball. It's
Oh,
just a
okay.
ball. It doesn't look like anything because it's covered in skin.
Oh, okay.
But he was doing a bunch of drugs and wasn't taking very good care of himself. And so his skin,
Ruptured
essentially, and the ball started getting pushed out.
Oh.
And so then he had this cement ball literally pressing through his skin like the movie Alien.
Wow.
And so like we were able to get him in for surgery and get him all fixed up, and he's doing a lot better, and we're going to get him set up for a prosthetic. And the doctor, that would have been the perfect example of me being able to say to him, don't break your arm jerking yourself off, because the doctor he's like, yeah, this is going to be a real home run if we can get him that prosthetic. And like part of me was like, dude, he was in excruciating pain for 2 years.
And you didn't even once think, I could just drive him.
Yeah, and no, we couldn't find him a lot of the time.
Oh, wow.
Because he didn't sleep in like one spot, and he was always on drugs, so he would never tell us where he was. And then like his phone, you could call him. Like sometimes I would be able to call him at 11 o'clock in the morning, and be like, hey, I need you to be here in an hour. Can you do that? And he'd be like, yep, on my bike now, getting there. And it would be like 12:30, and I hadn't seen him yet, so I'd call him, and his phone would be disconnected.
Wow.
Yeah, when you're precarious, shit's really hard.
Ugh. That's rough.
Yeah. And so that's the kind of shit that I deal with at work. That was just a little snapshot into my life. You guys, I'm so sorry.
You have good stories, Kim. I like hearing you tell little stories about things. Because it's like, I feel like sometimes I feel like my life is not interesting enough. So then I listen to Kim talk about like eyes and shit, and I'm like, nice. So the first, just so I'm pointing out, this is a papyrus puzzle. So, I don't know.
Paper in the water?
Yeah, so look at this. So I found this in Siwa. It says, in Siwa, come find me at the bottom of the only bowl big enough for a god.
Oh.
So the thing to remember is, like, this game has riddles like that, but they're not super hard. And the way I solved it is you look at the map, right? You zoom in. This is like a perfect sphere that I'm sitting in. Like, there's a circle.
So it's like a little bowl.
Yeah, so they just go in, grab it. And now I got a little
Cool.
whatever I got.
So I just want to tell one more story about this guy.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've known him for 6 years. And for 6 years, I have assumed that he was an undiagnosed schizophrenic. It's very common, schizophrenia. And he had a lot of the, because I have a schizophrenic in my family. I have a couple. And he had all of the earmarks of a schizophrenic.
Right.
He blamed everyone else for every problem that he had. The reason he couldn't make it to his appointments, the reason that his arm was broken, the reason, every single thing was one of his brother's fault. He had 5 older brothers.
And
he was the youngest. And he was just like, oh yeah, the reason my prosthetic broke, because he used to have a glass eye that covered the implant before it became exposed, was because I got in a fight with my brother and he stomped on it.
Oh.
And, and then he would always talk about how like his family, like they tell him that they're going to pick him up and then they don't. And like he always had these excuses, and it was exhausting to listen to him complain about his family, who it sounds like he has put through hell. And thank God they're still around, right?
Yeah.
Well, his father, who was like the patriarch of the family, died and apparently left them all a bunch of money. Each of them. But the brothers, like, and then he comes in and he's like, yeah, I've got, and he's like, I've got $17,000 that my brothers won't let me have that, I could use to live someplace or buy a car, and they won't let me have it. And so then, and he's going on and on about all this money. And with these kind of stories, you're never really sure, like, how long ago the father really died.
Yeah, typically you're just kind of like, I'm just listening to this person
if there
talk for a
is
while.
any money, you don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And so then he tells me, I'm going to court tomorrow to fight for this money. And the next time he comes in, he does not smell like piss and alcohol and cigarettes.
Okay.
It smells like he's showered.
Huh.
He says to me, yeah, I got the money from my brothers, and the agreement was that we would not have to deal with each other anymore. We would not talk anymore. Second time he comes in, shows up on time for his appointment, doesn't smell like piss and alcohol. And I'm starting to think that a lot of what he was saying was true.
Really?
Like his brothers really were fucking with him, because now he like totally is like he has his shit together. I was like, for 6 years I've been listening to this guy like, yeah, your brothers are giving you a hard time. I get sure.
Yakety
Oh yeah.
schmackety.
Oh, they broke your implant. Yeah, I bet that wasn't drugs, And meanwhile, this 50-year-old man is being tortured by his brothers.
And it's now verified because he got the money, and now he's got his shit together.
And because in my head, I'm like, of course your brothers don't want you to have $17,000. You'll fucking kill yourself in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure like that was what they were saying to the courts, is like, oh, our brother can't be trusted with this money. But then he gets the money And he's like wearing clean clothes. He's getting a taxi to take him to his appointments.
This fucking.
Yeah. Oh, that you could have done better.
Yeah, I made a mistake there.
Yeah. But we should next time, man.
Oh yeah, you know what? Next time on JoJo's Fun, I'm gonna take down Meduman. I've been talking too much because I've been like stealthing.
I know. I've been talking enough for 3 people.
Yeah, well, don't worry. Tomorrow we're gonna take down the first important enemy.
Yeah.